It's good if you get into Slay. A lot of times, I think we're going to go Drac over the Galahad. I think it's a little more open-ended, and it has less of a chance of just totally being bad, I guess. I don't love scaling up a cat, but I don't mind taking it in this spot. We get a little bit of attack on it, and then ideally we take like the Mim and something else, and then we start scaling something else in that spot. The scaling itself is not that important, but it is, you know, it is relevant early on, or can be. So we did get a little bit of stats, however we did lose, unsurprisingly. We could flip a poly, that's pretty decent, right? Seems pretty good here. I mean, we don't, it's not guaranteed, but there's a pretty good chance. 4 attack is a lot on turn 2. Realistically, they would have to have a root or possibly like an egg, but since they took 3 damage, more than likely they lost combat. So we should be alright here. Theoretically, anyway. Alright, so we did flip that. They do actually have an egg, which we're not going to be strong enough to kill here. It's interesting. I wonder what they took turn 1 that they lost, but also still managed to get an egg. Oh, they probably fought against Sharebear, so they had 2 gold. That would make sense. We got a really early Vampire. It's kind of interesting. Probably don't even need the Mim to support it either. Could pick up like a poly. Like another poly. I really don't want to take damage here unnecessarily. So I'm going to take the egg as a spell. Because we've already taken enough damage as it is. Unfortunately, our poly didn't slay. That's not that surprising. I do think Brave Princess is at its best on Sadrak. How do I position this? No matter how I do the cat, maybe we could do it like this. Trying to decide if I want to keep this Humpty Dumpty or if I want to just bin the poly. I think I want to keep the Humpty and bin the poly for now. Maybe something like this. We honestly might even be strong enough just to wish upon a star, but I think I'm in a position like this. I'm not a big fan of it, but basically my reasoning is that I want to make sure that I can get the double support on the cat and then still get my support for the first unit. So we need the Brave Princess to slay. Probably more than we need anything else. Oh, I didn't lock the EXP. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Well, that's okay. That'll actually be fine. I don't really want the stags. I'll take the chicken, though. Another Humpty is not really something that I'm looking for either. I think we can roll past another egg in this spot. I do want this Cinderella. Maybe I just hold on to the chicken for this round. We do still need this to be supported. I want to make sure that it's able to get the sleigh. This may not be able to slay if I leave it here, though. What if we do something like this? Alright, so we lost the egg, but that's okay. We thought that might happen. So we can get the Mim. Let's take the bounty board, we'll get a bit of extra gold here. So we haven't really seen any things like this Vampire here. I do want to pick up this Vampire. I'd like to also cast the Spinning Gold. Trying to decide what makes more sense is if we just pick up the Vampire now and sell the Black Cat. If we just cast the gold. The cat on its own is really not that exciting. I think we'll do maybe something like this. Alright, so the Brave Princess should go off, so we're almost certainly guaranteed one sleigh. But we're not really guaranteed much after that. 15 attack should be sufficient to at least get one. Now, they already have a Tweedledee, which is not ideal for us. We do get a second sleigh, which helps, but the Shadow Assassin on its own probably isn't enough to carry us. Yeah. We can hit this way, that's fine. We'll get 2 extra gold. Oh, no, more, right? Because this is double sleigh. Okay, so that's not too bad. Sting is probably worthwhile. This thing is plenty large enough. I don't know if Grimsoul is really what I want to be doing. So we could honestly be running Grimsoul in slot 1, and it's not the end of the world either. Maybe I'm kind of in for that. Not really sure what we're looking for, but I'm sure that I'll know it when I see it. This can trigger extra Grimsouls. I don't think that's it either. Okay, this is what we're looking for. So basically we're going to get a bunch of gold with this bounty board, and we're going to use that to hopefully build a comp and then lead us into Jorms later. I'm going to run the Grimsoul for now, but ideally I'm going to replace this with a... with a Medusa later down the road here. At least once we get to that point. Okay, that's great for us. We have a lot of gold here. So we're going to use our gold to sort of piece together the rest of this comp this round if we can. That's huge. These aren't great. We could mask. Gives us a 4, 5, couple of 3s. It's not terrible. Do I just skip this then? Yeah, let's just skip that. Apple Tree's okay. Not really what I'm going to be playing this round, so I'm going to skip that as well. Okay, here's another Mermaid, and here's our triple Vampire. Cloak of the Assassin versus Treasure Map. Cloak is going to give us a little bit of extra stats, not a ton. You know, we'll take Cloak. Well, that's an upgraded pumpkin on 4.1, which is not ideal for us. We didn't take a ton of damage there, which is good, but it's pretty brutal. All right, let's roll. I'm not really interested in the Chupacabras, realistically. They're fine, but we can kiss this up. Monster Manual buffs these a bit. Can buff the Grimsoul. I think I just skip it though. I'd rather the gold. More than likely here. Okay, so here's a Medusa. That's great. I think we can put the Shadow Assassin there. We'll take this for the pair, but we're probably not going to be running it. The only spot that I could reasonably put it is like replacing the Lady of the Lake. I think I'd rather have the Lady of the Lake in. We could do this, potentially. Which is probably fine. Gives us a bit less health, but I think it's okay. Now let's do this. I think we're plenty strong enough. So the reason that I decided to leave the Lady of the Lake over there is it gives us better positioning for like where our slay units are actually at, basically. Which I prioritized a bit over the ranged positioning. Alright, so here's a Baba. Baba's great. Let's roll. We're not really picking up Lancelot. Let's roll. We have a lot of pairs. I'd like to triple some of them up here if we can. So against Horde Dragon. Perfect. Okay, that's great. If we can get a Horn, that would be awesome. So, no Horn. We don't really need Sting anymore. I think we can just take Ring of Rage over Sting. It makes our back row a little bit stronger as well. We can probably arrange them something like this. I just decide if I want to gain some extra life. I think we need to basically be on 5 for a minute anyway, so I don't know if we necessarily need to do that. The Medusa doesn't really need health, but ideally we want these to be double slaying. This is probably the most amount of scaling that we would get. But we want the Shadow Assassin to have more health. I think we'll just do it like that. We're going to see if we can find Horn. I think that's going to be the biggest individual upgrade for us. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so not a ton of damage because our upgraded died in the back row, but that's okay. We could take up this Lady of the Lake. That's fine. Probably not terribly useful, but it's fine. Take the Baba. We could potentially grab a Siren here. Sort of less interested in that. Shoulder Fairies is okay. It's going to have low health basically forever though, which is unfortunate. Okay, so here's a triple Baba. That's great. Let's dump the Cindy. These are not what I was looking for. We could probably take the staff. It'll help us find our triples. Do we need the Ring of Rage? Do we need the Cloak of the Assassin? Cloak of the Assassin is giving us 9/9. I think the Ring of Rage is more useful. Are we repositioning anything? I don't really think so. So we can just wait and then take it next turn. It fucks with one shop, but that's it. So I think I'd rather sit and hold this for now. And then we'll see where we're at after this combat, because they were dwarves. They're going to be pretty large. Nice, that's a really good hit for us. Wow, that was really good too. They do still have a pretty large Tweedledum back here, but I think we're going to be okay, and we're going to get to deal them some pretty hefty damage as well. Okay, let's get rid of Cloak of the Assassin then. We'll pick up this chicken and we'll just roll to bank the gold. Here's another Baba. There's another Baba. Ideally, we are going to need the horn before we can really run another Baba. Though we could always do it like this. Make something like that work. We don't really need another Medusa. We might later, but for right now we don't. Probably could have fireballed, that might have been fine. I think we'll Healing Potion here. I mean, maybe we just take the Medusa to try and triple the, for the 4 for Horn. Let's do that. I'm wondering if I just run the Nian in the front for stats. I think that makes more sense to me. We're not really scaling our Medusa's health anymore, but this should be fine either way. They have a lot of Bearsteins here. I don't know if we're going to have enough stats to be able to compete with the double Bearstein here. We are going to be able to get some scaling, and we're probably not going to straight die here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get to the back row necessarily to be able to really deal with this. So this will be 3, 4, 5. Ideally, we would have had something like Lightning Dragons so that we could actually get around this, but we didn't quite have that as an option. So they were upgraded Pumpkin. Alright, let's roll. We need to find some Jorms. We need to find some... Horn would be a really good pickup here. Unfortunately, no Horn again. That's really too bad. Alright, let's roll. Man, these shops are pretty rough. I think I'm going to shrivel. We can triple this. Still no horn. Bit unfortunate. Alright, we found a Jorm. So we can definitely play the Jorm. I don't think that we actually put the Grimsoul in, though. So I think the Jorm should be plenty big enough on its own, as long as it doesn't get sniped here. Okay. The Geppetto's still pretty scary, though. Here's an upgraded Baba. That's nice. We can probably take Mimic over the Ring of Rage. Don't really need the Ring of Rage anymore. I would Knighthood this if I find one, I think. I would take an Echo. I think we can put the Echo in here. And let's roll. So there's a Knighthood. Yeah, I think if we're not dead, it's going to be like a good pickup, so let's just go ahead and buy something. We can buy Grimsoul or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then ideally we're going to be able to be alive and we're going to Knighthood it. That's kind of the way that we're going to be able to get enough stats. I guess not. I guess we just get scammed, so we'll get third here then. Where there's just no way for us to live here. Okay. Sure. I hate this format so much. Like, I really do. If you haven't really played a lot of this format, I really don't like it at all. I think it's terrible. But it's whatever. We'll take our third. I'll be back for the next round.